And really, if I look at where I want to focus my life, I feel like I'm actually on the forefront of developing the future of the world. Because we're not going to have this free energy forever.
No.
We're not going to be able to continue the way we are. And so I'm ahead of the game, really. Even though in some ways I'm going back in time and using old technologies, the future is learning how to live with less resources in a more enriched way, if we can survive at all.
Right, yeah, and we were discussing that in the sauna. Just at the rate that we, and I say we meaning the United States, but at the rate we consume, it's impossible. It just can't work. So, that's where I think this is so amazing, is that it is that combination of new technology and basics and really conserving energy and water, because ultimately it's our only choice.
Yeah.
It's going to be real.
Yeah, and I try not to talk too much about that because it is negative.
Sure.
But people do have to look at the reality of the situation. They need to look at the graphs of how our energy is being used and what resources we have. And even though we can be optimistic and think, oh, we're really fancy monkeys and scientists and stuff, we're going to get free energy somehow. If you actually just realistically look at it and drop your delusional optimism, we have some serious problems with basic survival as a civilization. And so civilizations have collapsed before. They often fall to 10% of the population they were before. So we have examples in history where this has already happened. Now we've got this massively built up civilization built on free energy over the last 100 years.
Which is such a short amount of time.
Yeah, that is a moment. And we're draining the aquifers, we're poisoning oceans that used to be completely full of fish and wildlife. We've destroyed so much forest. We're burning oil now, so some forests are recovering, but as soon as the oil gets more expensive, we're going to be burning more wood again. So we're just in this really awful situation. And once one system collapses, another system will be stressed and collapse, another system will be stressed and collapse. And so in the process of that, we will not have the rational power or even the physical ability to say, oh, we get it now, we're going to magically fix it.
Sure.
Now, one optimistic vision is that we have more warning signs, and that we can be smart quickly and do what's called like a graceful descent, energy descent, and use the last of our cheap energy to build these alternatives. What we're doing here is we're building those, experimenting with and building those alternatives now, so that when we finally realize, oh, we got to do this, we have those designs ready.
Right, like they've been tested, they work, and you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. And
which is, it's pretty crazy, because I know sometimes I get bogged down by just how much energy we consume, that every culture around the world that we're just driving ourselves like into the ground.
Yeah.
But like we've talked about before, once you've recognized that these are real issues, and then you can work towards something, it's then you can have a positive attitude about it.
I hope so.
Because you're now helping. You're not part of the problem.
And I like that because I don't just want to be despondent.
Yeah.
I don't want to focus on the problems. I want to focus on solutions. And what's cool is there are more and more people, and I have contact with them online, who see it and they want to help. And those are the people who are saying, Brian, that's really interesting. I may or may not agree with everything you do or say. That's totally cool. But what you're doing is exciting and I want to support it. And that's where we're getting donations or grants, and people can directly fund their own optimism for that there's a chance for a better future.
Which makes me happy.
It makes me kind of happy too, most days. And on the other days, maybe I'll pour tequila and try and forget about the problems of the world. That's actually fun, good shit, man. I think that's watchable. I would watch that.
Yeah, and I think...
And I saw a couple of people saying online how they want to do what they're going to do. I'm already fucking doing it. I'm a proven entity.
Right.
You know?
No, I'm not talk.
Yeah.
Okay.